Catherine confessed in private with mods that there won't be any more updates. There's only one worker left and he doesn't know anything about coding for updates. Boltrend won't recruit more workers. Also, they will extend the current event, and after, run few reruns, then shut down forever. Well, this is a video I didn't think I would have to make for a long time, but here we are. If you've been around the Disgaea RPG community over the past few days, or if you read the title of this video, then you pretty much know the situation. Disgaea RPG is over. There hasn't been any quote-unquote official announcements about this, but it's basically all but been confirmed that in the probably near future, Disgaea RPG will either be completely shut down or just have no players left. I'll go into more detail now, but before I do, if you want more of a concise rundown of the situation, then I would highly recommend you check out the YouTuber Hazink, who I suppose used to make Disgaea RPG videos, but in light of this new situation, he is transitioning his content. Since he was a big Disgaea creator, he shows messages between himself and one of the devs of Disgaea RPG, which basically just confirms that the game will not be supported anymore. Those messages read as follows. Hi guys, I apologize for missing so many messages in the past few days. I was stuck in taking over other games, so I understand your feelings, but honestly, I can do nothing about this situation. We were trying our best to prepare the new game version, but only one game developer for Disgaea RPG was left after the quote-unquote layoff, as you know, and we failed. So there will be a maintenance on March 8th to extend the collaboration events, and after that, there will be rerun events in the future. I shouldn't talk about this, but I think you need to know. And the end of service, I haven't got any news yet. I will update if I'm notified about the end of service. The only thing I can do is advise the leaders to reserve our Disgaea RPG community for your memory if the day comes. The full story, from what I understand of it, is that Boltrend has been slowly laying off employees. There were a couple of very prominent mods or devs in the Discord that would regularly share updates and roadmaps for Disgaea, and suddenly they started leaving the company at around the same time. This was cause for concern for a lot of people, mostly because us players were basically losing our only source of communication with the devs. Also, before any of this even happened, the Chinese version of Disgaea was shut down in December, which I didn't even know about until everything with the global version now was coming out. It's at this point that everything basically just went to shit. People have been connecting the pieces of Boltrend and some of their other games, such as Idola Phantasy Star, which was a Phantasy Star Online mobile game that, wouldn't you guess it, Boltrend published for global, and the game was allegedly dead long before the JP version of the game pulled the plug. And again, allegedly Boltrend is doing the same thing to Disgaea RPG that it was doing to those other games, where they only put one dev on the game, likely just to keep the servers up, and eventually they just don't want to keep putting any more money into it, keeping it alive, and they just pull the plug. Honestly, this whole situation is really strange to me. The crux of it seems to be that Boltrend was just simply not making enough money to justify keeping the game running for global. However, I never really saw it that way. At least not until Hazink and some of the other community members mentioned that Boltrend didn't acquire the rights to the rerun of the 7 Deadly Sins collab, which was a red flag, sure, but I was giving myself the copium that maybe the contract was just delayed for some reason, and maybe it's just because 7 Deadly Sins is such a big IP that they had some hiccups along the way. But other than that, outwardly it always looked like Disgaea RPG was doing pretty good. I mean, judging from some of the app data I found on AppBrain, it looks like the global version has as many downloads as the JP version, both somewhere at around 500k plus. And while sure that might not be as much as like the 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross mobile game that looks like it was doing around 10 million downloads, Disgaea is a relatively niche JRPG game, and the fact that it even got a global version in the first place just goes to show how much money the JP version must have made and how popular it became. And on top of this, Boltrend also released a Steam port of the game, which, although buggy at first, is still an additional way for people to find the game. Although, I will say, I did a little looking at the Steam version, and it actually looks like not many players even downloaded it at all. Every site I looked at shows different statistics, but it looks like an average is only around 2,000 people even downloading it, and maybe around 400 to 500 playing it consecutively at its peak. But the real thing that set me off to Disgaea being abandoned, before I even saw Hazink and the other players' reactions, was this message from one of the Discord mods. Hi dudes, given the current situation, if you encounter any payment issues, customer service is not able to resolve them. We therefore suggest that you do not make any purchases at this time, otherwise you should make a refund in case of problems. We do not have any news regarding March roadmap. It's a very concise, short, even run-of-the-mill message, if the quote-unquote current situation was any different. They basically confirmed here that there is no support for this game, and you know it's bad when the devs' best advice is just get a refund on the game. So it was that, in combination with not having a roadmap for this month, that really tipped me off that Boltrend just doesn't have any more employees for Disgaea RPG. And that's essentially where we're at right now. The future of Disgaea RPG is that the game will still be up and playable, however, there won't be any new content for the foreseeable future. Boltrend will be rerunning banners and events, but that's basically just until they decide enough is enough and stop paying to keep the servers up. But in all honesty, by that point, I'm sure there won't be many players left regardless. Once again, if you want another breakdown of this situation, I would highly recommend you head over to Hazing's channel, but other than that, that's all I really have for this video. I will at least be making one more video on Disgaea, which will largely just be me talking more about it, unscripted, as well as possibly my final summoning video on Disgaea. Please like and subscribe, and I'll try my best to inform you all if any more news about Disgaea RPG comes out, but with all that being said, that's all I got for you right now. Peace.